Crimean news agency Mustafa Kochikut. Mr. President, our agency is still being followed in occupied Crimea. However, the peninsula, Ukrainian citizens are still using our content. They are following us. Our communication and dialogue with them continues. Of course, at this point, especially in the last process, in some international media outlets, it has been reported that in order for Ukraine to achieve peace, that he has to make concessions on his territory. Of course, the reference here is clearly Crimea. Crimea is meant here, and the Ukrainian citizens living on the peninsula, in their messages and comments to us, say that they are very worried. On the other hand, Crimean Tatars, official body of the Mejlis of the Crimean Tatar people in Ukraine. Territorial integrity. Crimea has always been part of the territorial integrity of Ukraine. If a decision is to be made on Crimea, it is for the Ukrainian state, and any person other than the Crimean Tatars, the indigenous people of Crimea, that he has no authority to decide that. At the same time, you personally know that you have unwavering support for the territorial integrity of Ukraine, including Crimea. However, as I said at the beginning, living in the occupied Ukrainian territories, for Ukrainian citizens, what would you like to say about their concerns? Continuing again, if there is a demand for Ukraine's territorial integrity, including Crimea, in the talks, what will Ukraine do at this point? What will be its position? Thank you.
Our position? Today, the President and the Constitution is written in the Constitution of Ukraine. Crimea is part of the Ukrainian state. Fortunately, the Republic of Turkey supports and understands our position. This is also stated in the Charter of the United Nations. Crimea is Ukraine. Crimea belongs to Ukraine. And President Erdogan himself, every time we talk, every time we discuss territorial integrity, when we discuss Ukraine, he always says, I reaffirm to you once again that I support the territorial integrity of Ukraine. I support the occupation, the temporary occupation of Crimea. We do not recognize it. Crimea is not Russia's. Crimea is Ukraine's, he always says that, and I am grateful to him for that. This is my position, this is his position, this is the position of the majority of the whole world. That is actually the answer. That is why we cannot discuss territorial integrity because it is against the Constitution of Ukraine. What will happen to the land? What will be done with it? How to rebuild or how to ensure our territorial integrity? How to deal with humanitarian crises? We are, of course, ready to talk about these things, especially how to solve crises, how to solve our problems. There's a lot of details to talk about that we'll sort out. But as we have always underlined, this is my unshakable position. We will never legally recognize any Ukrainian territory as occupied, as belonging to Russia.